Um, choose an account. Where's my YouTube account? Oh my goodness. Mm, okay, wait, let me. Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, ladies. Oh my goodness, y'all. Why is it telling me that I have an internal server error? What? I never got this message before. Let me try again. Lord help us. Why is it doing this? Hmm. Oh my goodness, ladies. Okay, so it's giving me an internal server error, and I'm not sure why. DrChalice. To continue to Zoom, we're going to go YouTube and then go live like I normally do. Oh my God, I don't know why this is saying internal server error. But you know what we might do since it won't let me go live? I think what we're going to do anyway is we're not going to go live on YouTube, ladies, because it won't let me. And we are not going to waste time, nor are we going to panic. So we're going to just start. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Talk the Wellness Tea with Dr. Chalice. I am so excited to be here tonight. We are talking about an important topic. We are talking about crowning glory, a woman's hair. We're talking about nurturing our hair loss journey through chemotherapy and or alopecia. And I have special guests today. I have DrShangela Peterson, who is a cancer survivor warrior, my pink sister survivor. And we have Kanaya Williams of Pickup by Jessie Hair Salon, my personal stylist. Love her to death. And so we are going to explore this topic, and we're going to start with you, DrShangela, just kind of sharing your journey with us and your story and any information you have about hair loss or alopecia. And I also welcome any guests that are joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. It is so interesting. Like, I knew that you invited me to be a part of it, but I've been navigating difficulties actually just with that as of recent, I have two young girls.
Yeah.
And so, they have an idea of what it looks like. But before we go there, I am DrShangela Peterson. I am a 7-year cancer survivor, and I had locks for 15 years prior to that were down my back. I never had long hair growing up. Got it permed pretty early. Mom was like, I'm not dealing with it. I had the hot comb situation where you sizzle the
Mhm.
edges and they did you to jump, but you frying in the back.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I had the Black Girl Rite of Passage, Easter Sunday, every on Sundays. Um, but I always wanted long hair. Like, my cousins had long hair, but my hair would just never hit below here. Just not my natural. And I'm gonna say natural hair. My locks were natural, but when I locked my hair got long, right? So much so my mother was like, "So, I mean, you could tell me if you added hair or not." I was like, "Ma, I didn't do anything, and this is just my hair growing. It wasn't. No muss, no fuss. I got to a point where just cutting it and relaxing it and trying to make it look presentable all the time just got to be too much. So locking it was the best thing for me. And I felt super feminine. I felt like I didn't have to do makeup or try to get myself together. I would get in, put it up in a bun, not frizzy edges, whatever. It just was my style. And then 15 years in, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So when I got diagnosed with breast cancer, they pretty much told me that I was going to lose it because I had to do chemo. And I just didn't want the trauma of watching my hair fall out. Ironically enough, my family has female pattern baldness issues, like right in here. So even now, when my hair grows in, there are certain clear patches that just don't grow in. So I feel ugly when I try to attempt to grow it, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll grow it and try to do a lace front. But then I was like, you know what? I rock the ball well. So I just stayed in this lane.
Yes,
And
you do.
yeah, thank you.
Look beautiful.
But once I cut it all off, I felt good. I felt good. And when I went bald, I said, all right, God, you're preparing me, and when I started to grow back, it has a different texture. So I don't know if anybody has had chemotherapy. When it grows back, it's different from what you had prior to, and then just over time, it may go back, it may not. But mine grew and it was splotchy, right? So it looked like I had bald spots throughout, and I just opted to blonde it for a little while because I really thought I was hot blonde, with the short cut. um, but then just over time, I just wanted to be comfortable with me in my head and just show my girls that there is beauty in all stages, and you don't have to have hair to define it. Even though sometimes it gets hard for me, because it was so much tied into my femininity, with not only having to navigate breast cancer and having a double mastectomy, but then losing your hair, all the things that make you a woman and soft and feminine and all of those things. So, I got to the point recently, like I said, where I was like, well, maybe I'll just do a lace front so my girls could just see what I look like with hair and do this. And I don't know why I'm really doing it for them, because I don't have to subscribe, because
Yeah.
they're always saying, hey, mom, you don't have hair. You have long hair. All these people have hair and you don't. And maybe subconsciously it's still something I have to work on. But for the most part, I mean, I am here today with a bald head, and I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with it. And I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate those spaces with my girls, that, you know, mom is different, and beauty comes in all, with hair, without hair, short hair, long hair, colored hair, or not.
Yes. Wow, DeShangela, thank you so much for sharing your story. Just being a breast cancer survivor and then finding out, and I'm a breast cancer survivor too, but I didn't have to get chemotherapy. So I don't know what that's like to, know in advance, like you're going to lose your hair. And I can only imagine after growing your locks and them getting so long and then having to cut all of that off, it's like you got ahead of the game and you just cut them off because you didn't want to see yourself like losing your hair along the way. So your girls never saw you at all with long hair, or have they always known you with your beautiful hair now?
So I had hair when my first was born, but I got diagnosed a year and a half after she was born. So not really. She doesn't really remember me with long hair. So my youngest, I had already had it all the way off by the time, for a couple years, by the time she was born. So no, they only see pictures, and they're like, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's your mama."
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's that like for you? Like when they say, who is that? Does that touch you in any way?
You know what? No, because I think it was a natural progression. I think it was time for my locks to go. Even if I would have restarted, I had so much thinning happening, and I felt like the
Oh,
locks were weighing down my hair, like, meaning, like, if you see it starts to pull your hairline, and it was because I had the family male pattern baldness here, or female
yeah.
pattern, whatever it is. I That just got to be a lot, and I started to see the gaps between, and I was like, well, maybe it's time to go. I was considering it, and that just pretty much sealed the deal.
Yeah.
So
Could
it
not.
was traumatic. The cut was traumatic. It was, I think, because of everything that was happening at the same time. You get the diagnosis, and then it's like it's just one more loss, right?
Yes.
even though it was a choice, it was still one more loss. And I think I got ahead of it because I would have rather cut my hair off than the cancer to chemo to take it out.
Yes, I hear you. It's almost like you took your power back in that moment, you know, and when we think of the grief and loss stages, you know, shock and denial is that first stage. So like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my hair. Am I really going to lose my hair? You know? So that first stage probably kicked in. But Kanaya, what can you weigh in on this conversation?
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It's
So
a
yeah, um, as Charlotte said, I am Kanaya. I am a hairstylist. And I started off very early with being interested in hair. Like it started with my Barbie dolls. I would take my Barbie dolls actually and shave their hair. I would like take all their hair off. And I thought it was always beautiful. I really did.
oh,
And I always embraced short hair, long hair, whatever hair God gave you. I always thought it was beautiful because I always think that you can do whatever you want with your hair as long as you know that doesn't make you. And I stand by that to this day. And my grandmother was my salon is named after my grandmother, Jessie. So it's
oh,
pick up from Jessie. It's pick up from where she left off. She taught me a lot about hair, even though she wasn't a hairstylist. She taught me, how to braid and how to just, style my hair and things like that. And I've always had an interest in it. And I think to this day, um, when I was pregnant, let me just switch back. When I had my child, I did lose my hair. I had the postpartum hair
oh,
loss,
yes.
and it does take a toll on you. It really does. If you're used to having hair and then you just, you know, all of a sudden don't have it anymore. A lot of people don't speak about what pregnancy actually does to your body.
Yeah.
It takes a toll on the female, lots. So I was experiencing that, and it took me some research and some time, and it just made me be more creative with the hairstyles that I did choose to wear. It
Yeah.
made me embrace my bald head because I did shave my head as well.
Did you?
And I was afraid. I was actually afraid that my husband wasn't gonna like embrace it. He thought it was the most beautiful thing in the world. And I was so shocked. I was like, really? And he loved it. That just gave me even more confidence. I was going to have the confidence anyway, because like I said, from the beginning, I already knew that whether you have hair or you don't have hair, it never makes you. It doesn't make you or it doesn't break you, you know? So, um, yeah, I've always just embraced who I have been. And there's nothing wrong with enhancing your hair with hair pieces or rocking your natural hair or rocking a baldy, whatever makes you feel beautiful, honestly.
Well,
And to this day, I have clients who, have hair, who don't have hair, and a lot of them have the confidence. And I always like to encourage them, like, it really doesn't matter if you have hair, if you don't have hair, you are still beautiful.
yeah,
And I had to talk to my boys and my kids as well, because when I came out with like, no hair, they were like, "What's going on, mommy?" And they made a little comment, and it kind of hurt my feelings. But that was my opportunity to talk to them and tell them, listen, and everything else. We're not going to judge people based off of if they have hair or not.
yeah.
That's not what we're going to do. And they were able now to embrace everything. So that's my take on that. And it touches my heart. I love what I do because I'm able to encourage people, because a lot of people are very attached to their hair, which is understandable because it is our crown, right?
It is.
But it's not the most important thing when it comes to who you are.
Yeah.
So that's always important to keep in mind. Yeah.
Well, Kanaya, thank you so much for sharing your story of your
Yeah.
own journey of hair loss. And it was from pregnancy. It was from the after
Yes.
effects of pregnancy, whereas
Yeah.
Deshandra was from a breast cancer diagnosis. And I think
Correct.
something that you guys may both have in common is your supportive husbands. Because Chris, shout out
Yeah.
to you for supporting Kanaya. She is beautiful. And I know you know she's beautiful. So, shout out to your husbands for really supporting you. Deshandra, didn't you tell us? I think in another talk we were on, your husband also was very supportive of you as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. I tried the wig thing during chemo, and it just was so funny. It just didn't work. It did, and I feel like you can find things that fit your personality and your style, but they just weren't me. And like every time I took it off and I just put my earrings on and my lip and my lashes, I was like, oh, this is who you supposed to be in this season. Just embrace it and be good with it. It's a reason that you rocking this. And he loves it. I said I could do it. He was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool on the wig. But I always kept saying, you see people out here, they have some weaves have come so far, okay? From the initial, I just remember I have a girlfriend named Ashley, and she has been my stylist literally through every phase of my life. We've been friends since high school. And I remember when she did my first sewing, and she would do all of my hair. She didn't do my locks during that period, but every major phase of my life, from the time where I dyed and perm my hair the same, and all of it came. I was just like this, peeling it off.
Oh, no.
For all of that. And so she was with me when I cut my locks, right? And then I navigated this process. And so it's good to have people that pour into you and really show you the mirror of who you are, and that you're loved, and their love is not attached to anything that you have or do. It's just for you being who you are. Like, and that puts a big battery in my back, right? That just makes you feel like, right, wrong, or indifferent, everybody wants somebody to show up for them.
Yeah.
And first thing you got to learn is to show up for yourself. And some days it's hard, but when you have those people that pour, it kind of puts you back in your right setting, your right footing.
Yeah. And both of you ladies talked about your children and your children's reaction, to your hair loss. Kanaya, you talked about it as a teaching moment. Also for you too, DeShangela, just teaching your daughters, like, listen, beauty comes in all phases. Anybody who's on the call want to join or make a comment, or feel free to turn your camera on and share any stories that you may have of, hair loss, alopecia. Listen, traction alopecia is so common in Black women. It is very common. And that's when, well, listen, why am I going to say what it is? We have a professional. Kanaya, can you tell us more about alopecia, like traction alopecia,
Yes.
and how common it is?
So traction alopecia is when we cause it on ourselves. So it's like from pulling our hair too tight in ponytails, braids, too tight to the scalp, glue being taken out and put in the wrong way. So it's what we cause to ourselves with the way we put in or take out our hairstyles. Also, there's the, alopecia can be, it can run in your family as well. So just because someone has alopecia, it does not mean that they've done something wrong. And even if you have traction alopecia, it's just lack of knowing what to do with your hair. Like, we have so much more available to us now through YouTube and just educating ourselves more than we did before. So a lot of the things, that's why I like to educate my clients on, like, okay, you take it out this way, or you apply it this way. I take that opportunity as well to make sure I instill in them things that I made mistakes with. That's how I know, and things that I've seen my friends make mistakes with throughout the years, back in the 90s, like styling our ponytails way too tight. It never has to be that tight. Beauty is not pain. It doesn't have to hurt, that's what a lot of us think. But yeah, traction alopecia definitely is caused from what we do. But that can grow back. There is a possibility that if you have some hair follicles there, your hair can still grow back with traction alopecia.
Okay.
And there is hope. There are different remedies that you can use, like hair growth oils and just taking vitamins, eating healthy. That has a lot to do with our immune system.
Yeah.
And then some things are just out of our control. And once it's out of our control, it's just nothing we can do about it. And that's when we have to embrace what God has given us and be confident in that.
Yes, I love that. What are your thoughts on like the Rogaine foam for women? Because you know, it's they have some for men, but they make it for women too, where you can just put the foam and just kind of like, for instance, alopecia, traction alopecia does run in my family, and I noticed like as I'm getting older, like around my edges, it's like a little thinner. And so I saw a dermatologist and she was telling me about this Rogaine foam, and it's
Hmm.
like a mousse and you just like rub it right along your edges. And
Yeah.
it really does work. It really helps. It really helps to fill in those hair follicles.
And also the one for men is even stronger. It says for men, but women can use it as well. So it
Uh,
doesn't mean that women can't use it. The one for men is actually more effective.
okay.
The thing with that is that my experience is you have to continue to use it. Once
Yeah.
you stop, just like with a lot of things, it stops, you
Yeah.
know? So it has to be kind of a regimen, but that's okay. It's like whatever you're willing to commit to,
Yeah.
but yeah, in my experience, once I did stop using the Rogaine, it did stop working,
Yes.
but it may vary from case to case. So,
Okay. And do you have
mhm.
any recommendations on different like hair oils, hair growth oils that people can use to kind of help?
Well, I know I do a combination of tea tree oils. Just I try to stay the natural route.
Yes.
Tea tree oil, pumpkin seed oils, different things. Those can be carriers. So olive oil, extra olive oil, coconut oil, pumpkin seed oil, grapeseed oil, all the natural oils, and you can mix it with different rosemary oils and tea tree oils. That can be a nice stimulant for your scalp and just circulation, massaging your hair
Yes.
in the morning and the night and just seeing what works for you. Everything doesn't work for everybody. So, and like I said, if it's a medical condition, that stuff is not going to work anyway. It could aid in, possibly helping, but ultimately, if you're having something else going on, a lot of people lose their hair due to medications. And that's just out of your control,
Yeah.
So it's important to kind of be tuned into what's going on with your body so you can know what works
That
for you.
is so true because like health disorders, like thyroid disorders can cause
Hmm.
hair thinning.
Yeah,
Right? And so if your thyroid is out of whack, but you get your thyroid tested and the doctors get it back into their normal levels, you may see your hair starting to grow back. So you're
correct.
right. We really do have to, if you're suffering from any kind of hair loss, you do want to be in tune with your physical health and
Mhm.
having your lab work done to make sure there's nothing else, nothing going on medically that's causing it that could potentially stop it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to say, and I didn't say this at the beginning of the broadcast, we were also going to have Pamela and Diane of Coils to Locks on, and they had a family emergency, and our thoughts and prayers are with them. But they have this company called Coils to Locks, and they're two sisters. And if you're looking for natural wigs, they have a website where you can actually go to their website and order wigs, and they look so natural. They match Black women's hair very well. And they really were explaining to me how they really took the time meeting with different manufacturers to get the texture of the hair right. Because you guys know some of those wigs, no. Like DeShangela, you were saying you were trying to throw those wigs on, like, oh no. Your husband was like, babe, I'm good with the baldy. You know what I mean? So they really took the time to meet with manufacturers, and they were really concerned about the texture of the wig so that it can look really natural on Black women. So Coils to Locks is the name of their company. They have a website where you can purchase products. So yeah, so just, let's keep our thoughts and prayers with them as well. So how about anybody that's joining us? Does anyone that's joining us have anything that they would like to share? You don't have to come on camera if you don't want. You can unmute your microphone, but please feel free to come on camera, join a conversation. We'll kind of use this time as like a question and answer period. Not everybody at once. Let's see. Do I have anybody in chat? Okay, I see Krista Caldwell saying good evening. Good evening, Krista. How are you?
Well, I have a question. So if I wanted to go,
Hi. Oh, I'm
you did,
sorry.
You're
I'm
fine.
sorry you can't see me. I'm watching my grandson. So
Oh, no
it's
worries, Krista.
okay. Oh, did you want me to say something? Did y'all call my name?
Well, I was just reading in the chat that you said good evening, so we were just saying
Oh,
hi back. And if you wanted to share anything, you could.
oh, hold on, let me just turn it down. I'm sorry. 1 second. No, well, Kanai is my sister, and so
Oh,
I have seen her journey, and I'm very proud of her. And she actually takes care of my hair. I have lupus, and with lupus, I experience hair loss. So she tries to make sure that I have. Let me see if I can get on this screen really fast. So,
okay.
okay, hold on. Um, my grandson with me.
Oh, yeah, y'all are sisters.
Hi. I'm
Y'all are
sorry.
sisters. I see the resemblance, Krista and Kanaya. Y'all
Yes.
are beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
she say hi. Your auntie's on the thing. Say hi.
Hi, Jojo.
But she has always been really great with hair. She's been doing my hair since we were younger. And now because she's a professional, she really knows what type of treatments someone needs, and she has helped my hair grow in a lot. Sorry, grow a lot. So it was a really good conversation. And you too, Ms. Peterson. I said Miss Peterson because I couldn't pronounce your first name looking at it, and I didn't want to mess it up. But it's very encouraging to see other women. We have all have different ailments and things that we are fighting with, but as you see, it's common characteristics. We have some of the same traits, you know. And I'm just going to say, even with Kanaya, getting alopecia after childbirth and things like that, a lot of those things from just doing research shows that when women have stress on their bodies, things come out. And
Yeah.
even with me having lupus, hair loss was one of the first things that my beautician, and not at this time, my sister wasn't my beautician at this time, but she used to always tell me, Chrissy, your hair is really falling out. Um, she said, you have to stop all that stressing,
Yeah.
and I didn't know what she was talking about at that time. I didn't know that our bodies react to what is going on in the inside. And unfortunately, it took my hair. And I still have sores in my hair even now. So like my hair is 613, but sometimes I can't perm it because I have sores. And even now I have sores in my scalp. But yeah, but
Oh,
this is really informative.
yeah, Krista, are the sores from the lupus?
Mhm.
Yes, the sores is from the lupus. It's part of the lupus flares.
Oh,
Independent if a lot of things triggers it, right?
yeah.
So sunlight, if I'm out in the sun and no covering,
Yeah.
it starts to burn really bad. There's some spots on my hair that I can't even dye. It just won't dye at all. If I'm stressing a lot, um, I would have flares in my head. On top of other things that I would have flares with. Um, my hair is having a hard time growing back on the sides. It's almost like it's just so I just try to do things that could cause my just like Kanai was saying that our hair is our crown. I've always been into my hair. So I just try to find different ways to make this situation fits me. I know with dyeing my hair though, um, it makes me look like I have more hair on the sides. It's really weird.
Oh,
But when
Yeah.
my hair is a certain color, it looks like I have hair on the sides. And then especially if I shave it down like on the sides, and it's like really low. So you really start to it's sad at first, but then you really start to try to find ways of handling it. So nobody will know that now I have sores in my hair because I just cover it up, very well, but it still burns. I still have to wear cover-ups. I have this ointment that my doctor is like a topical.
okay.
that I put inside my scalp to ease the pain, for it. I hate doing it, but I hate the way it feels when it's burning and things like that. So, yep, but thank God that we have people that are professionals. I believe that God blesses people's hands. That's part of their gifts of healing, for all types of circumstances. And my sister just have been known to have healing hands.
Yes, she does.
And
Her
so, yeah,
She does
yeah.
my, she's my hairstylist too now, Krista. Come
Oh
on.
no, I didn't know
You
that.
gotta share your sister now. She has me looking fly. I'm telling you, every time I
Yes.
leave her salon, somebody is stopping me like, where did you get your hair? And I'm constantly giving out her business cards, getting people to follow her on Instagram. But your hair looks beautiful. Your hairstyle looks beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for sharing. See how we all have these different perspectives, different health disorders. But something you said, Krista, at first it is sad, right? Because our hair is a part of our identity. So depending on how you take it, it could be sad. Some people may cry. Some people may feel depressed for a little while. Some people may feel self-conscious or have low self-esteem for a while, like going through those different stages until you could get to that place where you're like, you know what? I'm going to make the best out of what I have and I'm going to rock what it is that I have. But it is important to say that it would be normal. Like if you were sad, about changes in your hair, losing your hair, like all of that is very normal, especially the first 90 days after, because those first 90 days after there's an adjustment period, that you have to get used to. If it's after the 90 days and you find yourself still struggling, that might be a sign of something a little bit more serious. But at least those first 90 days can be really, tumultuous.
True.
So DrChangela, thanks for sharing, Krista. DrChangela, you were going to ask a question.
I was going to ask a question, but I definitely want to piggyback off of what Krista said. I do find that it masked a lot of my spots that wouldn't grow in when I lighten hair. So I generally lighten it, but then that becomes, I am also a very low maintenance chick. So that whole dyeing your hair every 3 weeks because it's growing back super fast. And I just be like, where am I going? Do I really want to do this or am I just going to go bald?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but I found that, even that upkeep it gets to be a lot, because it grows a lot faster. And then when it grows out and it's dark in certain parts and then blonde in different parts, it begins to show the bigger patches, right? I start to feel not pretty. So I do a bit shorter. But I was going to ask the question because I don't do hair, right? So my girls, God tricked me. I don't know why he gave me 2 girls, knowing I can't braid. I do like the little puff balls. That's as far as my ministry goes. And, I just want them to be comfortable with their hair because my oldest has longer, more coily hair, and my youngest has more tighter coils. She's definitely, if the fro were in, she would have a banging tight fro. Like her hair draws up, completely different hair. And so once a year, I let them get their hair straightened, like straightened out, a blow dry. I mean, the comb and just our Easter Sunday do, right? So my youngest, when she does it, she cries because she was like, I don't like my hair. My hair doesn't look like Kelsey. Right. And I'm like, well, your hair is not supposed to look like Kelsey's because you're not Kelsey. Right. So I try to do the explanations, but they always like having extensions. So, of course, anytime you do like just basic cornrows, because that for me is easy, especially during school. Kids sweat and do all these other things. And it's like, I take them out and we just do their natural hair. So every third time I'll put extensions in so it'll last a little longer. But how would you help just to kind of reassure or express or support young girls with different types of hair?
That's a wonderful question. And so I have a daughter as well. And from the very beginning, I always got her, I love my hair books, always lots of literature on, you know, that she's beautiful, whatever skin color related to her, whatever hair texture related to her. I made sure that I got her some literature books on that. And then also just, constantly telling her, your hair is so beautiful. Your hair is so beautiful. I love your hair texture, especially because she went to a predominantly Caucasian school where they would be like, why does your hair look like that? And I'm like, no, I made sure that I told them things that I knew they were probably going to say just out of ignorance before it even happened. So that way, when they did say it, my daughter has so much confidence. Like, you can't tell her anything. You literally can't. She will wear her Black girls rock shirts, like it'll all predominantly, like she does not care. And I love that because like I made sure, because I think my main thing was I see beauty in everything. And I feel like everyone should. And because I have like that artistic eye where I'm like, oh, that is so beautiful. Like your bald head is so beautiful. That, like I said, when I was a little girl, I was cutting my Barbie's hair to look just like that. I have pictures. So I always embraced beauty in like a different way. So it's just very important to let them know that people come in all shades, colors, sizes, and just to make sure that you just instill that in them personally. Whatever hair, like one of my sons has the biggest afro. The other one's afro, throughout the day, it won't do what the other one's afro would do. So I'm like, okay, let's do this to your hair and let's style it a different way. It's all about knowing what styles are good for the hair type. You know what I mean? Whatever style, everything doesn't look good on everybody, and that's just real, right? And that's not being mean, it's just being real. You can't rock every style. Everybody can't be all natural because it might not look great. Everybody can't be relaxed. So it's just about finding that balance with what works with you and being happy with who you are, knowing that if you do wear extensions, that does not make you. If you do have a bald head, that does not break you. It's just about knowing who you are and having that confidence. And I stand very strong on that because I'll tell anybody, look, you're beautiful no matter what is given to you. You can make the best of it. I have clients that come in my chair and they're like, I don't have any hair. And I'm like, girl, do you know how beautiful you are? Like, there's things for that. We can work it. We can make it happen. Trust me. Don't worry about that. You know what I mean? Just self-insurance and just making sure that they are confident with whatever hair type is given to them. And that's what I did with my kids. And it seems to be working. They're very confident. Yeah.
That's what I've done pretty much the same things. Getting them books, but the comparison is always there, and when you have girls, it's always heightened.
It's hard. It's harder. Yes, the girls, they'll, oh, my hair is not as long or as thick, or that's challenging, and that's a part of life. A lot of comparisons, a lot of ups and downs with the way we feel about our hair. And again, it's just always constantly reminding ourselves, and us as moms, reminding our children when they're not feeling good about themselves, like, look, you are beautiful. Your hair is like this. Okay, well, maybe your hair is not the way you want it, but that's okay. So.
Thank you. Because I find that for me, I find working to be more comfortable in whatever space I'm in because I understand what they see. Right. I understand they see the reflection of that. Like, my daughter was like, Mom, my friend said you're bald. I was like, I am and beautiful. And she was like,
there you go.
But it was when she looked at me, it was like, oh, that's right. I said there wasn't no lies told, girl. She just forgot the beautiful part.
Yeah, exactly. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter if you have long hair or if you have short hair, someone's always going to find fault in something you do, in some way that you look, right? You're never going to be perfect for everybody. So it's just about finding that space too, and being, very secure with who you are, because people might even say, oh, I don't like that, just because about a jealousy. It might not even be something true. It just might be a little seed planted just to throw you off. So you got to make sure that you stay confident. That's my number one thing. confidence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Any other thoughts, ladies, on this topic, or any of our participants? Anybody have anything they want to share? Any final questions?
What do you have for do you do anything for like scalp care? Because even though I keep it really short or bald, completely bald, I'm finding that my hair is drier now. Like almost like I have to exfoliate my head. My head. Is that a thing?
It could possibly be. So do you do anything to your hair once you like shave it down?
You can wash it, sea breeze, and then wash it and condition it. I mean, yeah, I put conditioner on my head just out of habit.
Okay, well, so you can still do protein treatments. You know,
Okay.
that's for your scalp as well. You can still do, like I said, the tea tree oil. You know, you can make like a little shea butter. You can get the shea butter and mix some tea tree oil and some different rosemary oils in there. Whip it up like you're whipping some whipped cream or something. Whip it up, make your own butter, and like, you know, put it on your head like a nice oil. Because
Okay.
oil it doesn't moisturize your scalp. A lot of people are confused by that. Oil is not moisturizing. Oil is, it locks things. And so if you have, say you have, you know, kinky hair and you put water, it's called the lock and seal method. So you put water, a cream conditioner, and oil will lock it all in there, right? But oil alone is not going to moisturize your hair. So doing like a shea butter treatment, will help with just moisturizing your scalp.
So what moisturize your hair? Because you know, I did not know that.
Me either.
Yeah, look it up. Oil does not moisturize your hair, but
okay, well, what?
yeah, like cream moisturizers, like, you know, I'll just say for instance Cantu or something like that. Something cream, water is the number one hydrator. Water. So then you want to lock all that in with the oil.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if a product has water first, that's always a good sign that it's a pretty good product because water is hydrating.
So is that Blue Magic got water in it?
I don't know. I haven't used that in a minute.
Listen.
Oh, girl, listen. You mean I need to stop using my Blue Magic?
Listen, my grandmother, she used to get the Blue Magic, a cup of water, and a brush. Dip that brush in the water, get that Blue Magic, and our hair would be fly.
But you know why that worked? Because she used that water, and then she used that cream base or the greasy kind of base. It locked it all in. So that the concept is right. The product might not have been the best because of you know whatever it's in there, but the concept was correct. So
yes. What do you think, Kanaya, about black Jamaican castor oil? That's supposed to help with hair growth, like rubbing it in your scalp. What do you think?
It's supposed to. It like I said, everyone is different. So it's all about exploring. Really, because like I've tried them all. I know coconut oil doesn't agree with my hair. It never did anything for my hair per se. But extra olive oil does. Extra virgin olive oil does. It's more moisturizing for my hair type, right? So it's just about seeing what works best for you. Because all things are not created equal for everybody. So it's really trial and error when it comes to hair products.
Yes.
That's all. It just knowing about a whole bunch of different kinds, it's just trial and error. And you have to find out what works for you because everything's not going to work for everybody. So, but the concept of moisturizing, hydrating, that stays the same. It's just depending on what product works best for your hair and your scalp. That's where it all starts, from the scalp. And so also internally, like drinking lots and lots of water, that helps with your overall health. A lot of people don't know that. Like, you're not going to have flourishing hair if you're not eating correctly and you're not drinking water and even taking vitamins. You know what I mean? That has a lot to do with our hair loss. That has a lot to do with the health and integrity of our hair as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks for adding that in. So that holistic health.
Yeah, that's extremely important. Yeah, that's extremely important.
Yeah, because listen, I love to talk about how our mental health also includes so our mental health is our thoughts, our feelings, and behaviors. Also
Hmm.
includes our physical health, which is nutrition, exercise, and sleep. All of that plays a role in our spiritual health, which is our personal relationship with God. So really cultivating all of those things is very important to just our overall well-being and wellness. So thank you for stressing. First of all, Krista stressing about the stress. We do.
Hmm.
We got to get the stress under control.
Oh,
You know?
yes.
And a lot of the stress comes through what we allow. A lot of our stress comes through not setting and maintaining boundaries, people pleasing, not taking time for self care. Like all of those things are really important too to managing our stress levels. So it's really important. And then our higher power, having that relationship with Jesus, prayer, worship,
Absolutely.
whatever it is that cultivates your spiritual health so that you're living optimally. Because we have to have our mental health in check, our physical health, and our spiritual health. When we have all of those three things, aligned and balanced, oh my goodness, we can really live optimally.
It's true.
All
Yeah.
right, ladies. Well, I thank you all so much for this enlightening conversation. I know this is going to help many people who suffer from hair loss, whether it's through a medical condition, chemotherapy, alopecia, something that runs in their family. So I really thank you guys for taking the time out to share this information. And I hope everyone has a great night.
Me too. Can I
Thank you,
make
Chalice.
make a
You're welcome.
Can we do a perimenopause segment? Because a girl
Oh,
is suffering over here. So whatever you got and some heroes out there know some things, let me know.
oh yes. Okay. DeShandra, we are going to have to talk offline about perimenopause. Yes, we do need to talk about perimenopause.
What's perimenopause? What's that?
Puberty 2.0. When you when you're exiting out of your menopause, you go menopause.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Yes,
Okay.
it's the stage before you actually enter menopause. So
Yeah.
doctors tell me depends on when your mother started
Mhm.
perimenopause. Because for some women it starts in their
Wait,
late
stop.
30s.
Yeah.
They start
Mm.
having symptoms,
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Wow.
I was
and
asking my doctor because when I'm into like about to get my cycle,
Yeah.
that the hormonal changes makes me flare. So I flare every month. So I asked the doctor um if can they stop my cycle. Like it was almost like I wanted to go into menopause because I felt like if my cycle stopped, um some of the flaring will stop too because of hormone change. They told me if they stop my cycle and push me early into menopause, it's going to make it even worse.
Mm.
and very well could be. Like you just never know because I mean, like legit, it's the ebb and flow, and all of those have a play on your hair
Yeah.
and your skin texture changes, and like those are the things that I'm noticing. And you think about stress, like this stage of not knowing and just your body doing different things hormonally, that's stressful.
It is.
And I'm like I'm it's almost like a part of me really wants to go into menopause, but I've been hearing, and the only reason I hear a lot of stories from my friends. I'm 44, but I hear a lot of stories from my friends who are in menopause and how crazy it is. And I'm like, is it as crazy as the flares? Because if it's not as crazy as the flares, God, please let me go into menopause. But then I need a group that can tell me what to do
Mhm.
as I'm going through the menopause, because everybody have their hot flashes and their mood swings and stuff like that. But if it's not as bad, I want to move into it. I know
Yes.
it sounds crazy, but
I hear
Good.
you. See, we
Gotta
have to
wait.
get we need to get a gynecologist on the call to really have a really, full and informed conversation about that. And I do have somebody in mind.
And
Oh,
see
please let me know.
person, because I can't do anything estrogen based. So
Yes, you know what? The holistic health. Um, you know what? There's also holistic health practitioners as well too, which is interesting because I was talking to someone about having their holistic health practitioner on to help manage the symptoms.
Second one.
And so maybe that might be a nice holistic discussion if we had like a holistic health practitioner, a gynecologist, someone who's maybe into functional medicine that can talk about alternative ways. That might be an idea too.
yep.
Yeah. So maybe sometime in the fall, because it's summertime, summer vacation. All
Yes.
right, ladies. Well, I thank you all so much for contributing your expertise, your time, sharing your personal stories, being vulnerable so that other people can learn from our stories and learn that it's okay to have open conversations and talk about this, and really to let people know you're not alone. You're not alone. So there's always someone that has gone through something, has overcome it, has been where you've been, even if you're going through it now and you're having a difficult time. Just know that there is hope on the other side. There are multiple people to help you. We have professional stylists like Kanaya, myself, a therapist, Deshandra, a cancer survivor, and a coach, So, we have medical doctors, holistic health doctors. So reach out for help. It's okay to ask for help when you need it.
Amen.
Thank you all so much. You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.